I want to get you out the door with every result from every league in under 15 minutes, so that you're more informed about what's going on in the world of sports.
Hey TJ, what's going on? I'm Chandler and this is Tiger Beat Sports.
Hey everybody, I'm Chandler Sports and this is the Sport Report.
And I'm Chandler and this is Tiger Beat Sports. Welcome to a special edition of this all crazy sports newscast.
Broadcasting from somewhere in the United States.
Hit it, Blaze.
This is the Sport Report.
April 6th, 2019.
Hey everybody, I'm Chandler with Sports, and this is the Sport Report. It's time to get you caught up on what's happening in the world of sports. This is Top of the Order.
In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened.
This is Top of the Order.
Our top story comes from the MLB. Jorge Polanco of the Minnesota Twins became the first MLB player this season to hit for the cycle. He had 5 hits in the game, becoming the first Twins player since the Twins moved to Minnesota in 1961 to have a 5-hit cycle. A cycle is where you have a single, a double, a triple, and a home run in the same game. Most of you are wondering why we didn't play an intro for each of the segments tonight. Well, we're trying something new, and we're probably not going to keep it, but we're going to give it a shot. We're going to try and simplify everything tonight and just give you the scores and maybe a stat here and there for each game. Let's start with the 13 games on the hardwood. On the hardwood, there were 13 games, as we said. The Charlotte Hornets defeated the Toronto Raptors 113-111. Well, Jeremy Lamb had a winning 3 with 3.3 seconds to go in the game, giving the Hornets the 2-point victory. The Orlando Magic won 149-113 over the Atlanta Hawks. The Magic had 3 scorers with 25 points last night. Pretty incredible for that, to be a point short of 150. San Antonio Spurs defeated the Washington Wizards 129-112. The Spurs had 8 players score in double figures. Boston Celtics got a 117-97 win against the Indiana Pacers. The 20-point victory might be a preview of what the playoffs will have in store between these two teams, as they are the 4 and the 5 seed, most likely in the Eastern Conference. The Miami Heat lost ground on the playoff race as the Minnesota Timberwolves won 111-109. Dwayne Wade could be heading for an early exit as the Heat might not make the playoffs. His retirement might start early. That would be sad. Oklahoma City Thunder defeated the Detroit Pistons 123-110. Utah Jazz 119-98 winners over the Sacramento Kings. Spidey Mitchell had 23 points, and Rudy Gobert had a double-double with 17 points and 11 rebounds for the Jazz. Phoenix Suns won in overtime against the New Orleans Pelicans 133-126. Denver Nuggets on ESPN last night 119-110 winners against the Portland Trail Blazers. That could be a playoff matchup down the road. Golden State Warriors 120-114 winners against Cleveland Cavaliers. They sweep the LA Lakers and the Cleveland Cavaliers, 2 of the not hottest teams in the NBA. Finally, the LA Lakers, speaking of, won a Battle of LA 122-117 at the Staples Center last night. There are only 2 games on the NBA slate tomorrow night. Brooklyn Nets are at the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Philadelphia 76ers are at the Chicago Bulls. In the standings, not much has changed. Milwaukee, Toronto, Philly, Boston, and Indiana have clinched. Those are your first 5 seeds in the Eastern Conference. Orlando is now the 6th seed. Brooklyn Nets are 7, Detroit Pistons 8, and the Miami Heat are a game out of the 8 spot, or the 7th spot, depending on how you look at it, in 9th. Now to the ice. There were only 3 games on the NHL slate last night. Columbus Blue Jackets won 3-2 in a shootout against the New York Rangers to help their playoff chances. Chicago Blackhawks got the 6-1 win against the Dallas Stars last night. That's pretty big for the Stars to lose by that much, but in hindsight, they're preparing for the playoffs. Anaheim Ducks beat the LA Kings 5-2 at the Honda Center in a Battle of LA, just not at the Staples Center, just in Anaheim. There's a difference. Tomorrow, it's the final day of the NHL slate for the regular season. There are, you guessed it, 15 games on the schedule. We'll cover that tomorrow, in addition to the Final Four and the 2 games in the NBA. For the standings of the NHL, well, we basically have every position solidified. Tomorrow, the positioning will be finalized. Lightning, Bruins, Maple Leafs are the Atlantic top 3. Metro has the Capitals, Islanders, and Penguins, and the wild card is finally set. Carolina Hurricanes and Columbus Blue Jackets. In the Western Conference, the Central has the Predators, Jets, and Blues. Pacific Division Flames, Sharks, and Golden Knights. And the wild card is Dallas and Colorado. Like we said, the seeding will be determined tomorrow. There were 12 games on the MLB slate last night. Arizona Diamondbacks defeated the defending world champion Boston Red Sox 15-8. Colorado Rockies had their home opener but ultimately fell to Kenta Maeda and the Dodgers 10-6. Milwaukee Brewers 13-10 winners against the Chicago Cubs, who almost pulled off the comeback after trailing by as many as 8 during the game. Chicago White Sox 10-8 winners against Seattle Mariners. St. Louis Cardinals lost to the San Diego Padres 5-3. Tampa Bay Rays 5-2 winners over the San Francisco Giants. Pittsburgh Pirates 2-0 winners against the Cincinnati Reds. Philadelphia Phillies in a game where Jorge Polanco had his cycle 10-4 against the Twins. Indians 3-2 against Toronto. Braves 4-0 against the Marlins. Astros 3-2 winners against the A's, and the LA Angels 3-1 winners in the final game of the night against the Texas Rangers. March Madness is later tonight at 6:09 p.m. Eastern. The number 1 seeded Virginia Cavaliers will take on the number 5 seeded Auburn Tigers. Virginia out of the South region, Auburn out of the Midwest region. Should be a fun one. Virginia 5.5 point favorites in that one. In the second game, to be played 30 minutes after Texas Tech Red Raiders and the Michigan State Spartans will go head to head. Michigan State is a 3-point favorite, but Texas Tech has the number 1 defense in the country as of right now.
That's the Sport Report
For April 6th, 2019.
For now, I'm Chandler.
Thanks for tuning into the Sport Report today. We'll be back tomorrow with the latest in sports.
Do you want to contact Chandler Sports or members of the Sport Report team? Visit sportreportcws.com. This podcast is copyrighted by the Sport Report for viewers to understand sports from a news reporting basis. Any other use of this podcast, Sport Report logos, or anything associated with this podcast without the express written consent of Chandler Sports is strictly prohibited.